Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a journey, a pretty wild one actually. We're going to trace your family tree all the way back, past the usual stuff, way past mammoths and mayhem, to see just how unbelievably lucky you are to even be here.
Yeah, let's start with this core idea. Lucky might not even be the right word. Your existence, well, it's the result of a totally unbroken chain of survivors. We're talking about people who went through the absolute worst that history, and even prehistory, could dream up.
So today, we're counting down the 5 deadliest periods in all of human history. These are the moments where our species was pushed right to the edge of extinction. We're going to start with a time that was, merely terrible, and then work our way up to the absolute worst.
All right, kicking things off at number 5, we're talking about the last ice age, specifically about 20,000 years ago. And trust me, planet Earth was not a friendly place to be.
I mean, just look at the contrast here. On the one hand, your home is a freezing cave that you're sharing with like 40 of your relatives. On the other hand, your dinner is a 6-ton woolly mammoth that is actively trying to kill you with a sharpened stick as your only weapon. It's a tough day at the office.
And it wasn't just about hunting mammoths, not by a long shot. You had ice sheets 2 miles thick covering entire continents. Giant predators, like the cave lion, were constantly on the prowl. And, if starvation didn't get you, something as simple as an infected cut almost certainly would. There were no antibiotics, right? Just hoping for the best.
Okay, let's move on to number 4. And this one is a real twist, because it's about one of humanity's best ideas, agriculture. Except for our ancestors who first tried it, it was kind of an accidental invention of misery.
So what happened? Well, once we all started living together in villages, a whole bunch of new problems popped up. All of a sudden, diseases could spread like wildfire. Our diets got way less diverse, which meant, surprise, vitamin deficiencies and anemia were everywhere. And for the very first time, a single failed crop could mean total starvation for everyone.
Coming in at number 3, this one isn't a natural disaster. Oh no, this threat was man-made. We're talking about the Mongol storm of the 13th century. Back then, if you saw a cloud of dust on the horizon, it probably meant your entire world was about to end.
Just look at this number, 10%. Let that sink in. That's the estimated chunk of the entire world's population that was wiped out by the Mongol conquests. It's a scale of destruction that's, it's almost impossible to imagine.
And their strategy was just brutally effective. They'd show up fast, hit unbelievably hard, and just leave nothing standing. These huge mobile armies of horse archers could appear out of nowhere, completely overwhelm a city, and they didn't just conquer, they often just erased places from the map entirely.
All right, here we are at number 2. This was a biological wildfire that basically turned survival into a horrifying lottery. We're talking about the arrival of the Black Death in the 14th century. The end of the world, basically, delivered by flea.
This chart really says it all, doesn't it? In just a few years, the plague wiped out up to 60% of Europe's entire population. Think about that. More than half the people, gone. Entire towns just emptied out. It was a complete societal collapse.
And the disease itself? It was absolutely horrific. Caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, it spread through a world that had zero concept of germs or basic hygiene. The symptoms were the stuff of nightmares, and death usually came within just a few days. Your chances were not good.
So, after all that, after freezing in the Ice Age, starving as a farmer, getting wiped out by the Mongols, and maybe surviving a plague that killed half of Europe, you really have to ask yourself, what could possibly be worse than that?
And here we are, the number 1 worst time to be born in all of human history. We have to go back 74,000 years for this one. This wasn't a war, it wasn't a disease. This was when the sun itself vanished. The Toba supervolcano eruption nearly hit the delete button on our entire species.
So look at this chain of events. The eruption itself was just the start. It spewed so much ash into the atmosphere that it literally blocked out the sun. That triggered a volcanic winter, which caused temperatures to crash, and with no sun and freezing temperatures, ecosystems all over the world just collapsed.
And try to really wrap your head around this. We're not talking about a long winter. We're talking about 6 to 10 years where the sun was blocked out. The entire planet was thrown into a freezing twilight. Plants died. The animals that ate the plants died. Everything just stopped.
And this is the number that matters most. According to the theory, this is how many humans were left on the entire planet. Maybe as few as 3,000. That's not a city, that's not even a big high school. That's how close we came to disappearing forever.
So, for our last section, let's talk about what this all means. How does this ancient catastrophe, this incredible bottleneck, connect directly to you? Because here's the crazy part. Every single person alive today, you, me, everyone, we are all descended from that tiny, tiny group of survivors. Your DNA, my DNA, it came from that handful of ancestors who somehow found a way to not die in a dark, frozen world.
So think about it. Your everyday life, worrying about Wi-Fi, what to watch next, all of that is the grand prize they were fighting for through unimaginable hardship. You are the miracle they fought mammoths and volcanoes for.
That incredible, improbable story of survival, that's your inheritance. It's in your DNA. Which really only leaves one final question. What are you going to do with it?